I will make this as long, deep, emotional, and powerful as possible, approaching the magnitude of a 6,000-word inspirational message within platform limits. If you want even more after this, just say next part and I'll continue seamlessly. Elon Musk's mom reaches out, and she doesn't raise her voice. She doesn't need to. There's a certain quiet authority that comes from a life lived with courage, uncertainty, sacrifice, and relentless hope. Her message isn't wrapped in the glamour of fame, rockets, electric cars, or global recognition. Instead, it comes wrapped in the timeless simplicity of a mother who has seen her children fall, rise, break, rebuild, work, cry, doubt themselves, overcome everything, and still choose to move forward. She wants to tell you something, yes, you, not because she knows your circumstances, but because she knows your potential. And if there's one thing she has learned watching Elon, Kimball, and Tosca carve their way through a world that wasn't built to make things easy, it's this: greatness doesn't arrive fully formed. It grows out of ordinary moments you dare to treat as extraordinary. It grows out of decisions you repeat even when nobody sees you. It grows out of a stubborn refusal to quit when quitting is the easiest option available. She wants you to understand that the world that eventually clapped for her son wasn't clapping when he was sleeping on a couch, coding through the night, eating cheap meals, or facing rejection after rejection. No magazine cover existed. No investors were waiting with open arms. No guarantees, no safety nets. Just a quiet determination that whispered, "Try anyway." She wants you to realize that your journey may look messy right now. You might be at the stage where everything feels uncertain, where people around you question your choices, where your dream feels ridiculous even to you. But that's exactly the stage where the seeds of extraordinary futures are planted. What people call overnight success is built during these lonely, confusing chapters, when no one believes in you yet and you have to believe in yourself loudly enough to drown out everything else. She wants to remind you that struggling doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're building. It means you're in motion. It means you're growing into someone capable of reaching places you once thought were unreachable. If you think you're behind, she gently tells you this: you're not. You're simply on your timeline, and that's the only timeline that matters. She wants you to understand that confidence isn't a constant state. Not even for the people you admire. Even Elon, she says, had doubts. Even he asked himself, will this work? Will I make it? Am I doing the right thing? But he didn't let those questions define him. He let them guide him. Doubt isn't a stop sign. It's a test of how badly you want what you say you want. She wants to tell you that criticism is part of the journey. Not everyone will understand your mission. Not everyone will see what you see. Some will laugh, dismiss, or discourage you, not because your dream is impossible, but because they can't imagine themselves doing what you're trying to do. Her advice, spoken softly, is to keep moving. Keep experimenting. Keep learning. Keep failing forward. Critics don't build rockets. They don't innovate. They don't dream at your scale. They watch. Don't let the watchers stop the doers. Don't let the noise mute the signal inside you. She wants to remind you to take care of yourself. Not with luxury, but with intention. You can be ambitious and still rest. You can want more and still be grateful for today. You can chase a huge dream without letting it consume your humanity. Elon worked ridiculously hard, she says, but he never lost curiosity. He never lost kindness. He never lost the inner child who looked up at the sky and wondered what was possible. Protect that part of yourself. That's where your magic lives. She wants you to know that people told her children no all the time. No, you can't. No, it won't work. No, you're crazy. No, this idea is too big. No, someone else will beat you. But she taught them something. If your dream depends on someone else's permission, it's not a dream, it's a borrowed wish. Your dream must belong to you so deeply that even 1,000 no's cannot shake a single yes inside your heart. She wants to remind you that effort compounds. Every hour you put in, every line you write, every risk you take, every moment you choose courage over comfort, these are investments. You may not see the returns today, but they're accumulating quietly. One day, the results will appear all at once, as if out of nowhere. But you will know the truth, they weren't sudden. They were built in silence, over years of persistence that nobody witnessed. She wants you to understand that your background, your hardships, your setbacks, none of them disqualify you. Elon was bullied. He was broke. He was rejected. He faced bankruptcy more than once. And yet he acted. Not because conditions were perfect, but because he had a vision bigger than his fears. Your past is not an anchor unless you pick it up and carry it. If you let it go, it becomes a lesson. And lessons are lighter than regrets. She wants to remind you that life is unpredictable. You will be surprised by who supports you and who doesn't. You will see doors close for reasons that feel unfair. You will lose things you thought were permanent. But you will also gain things that make you grateful for every twist and turn. You'll meet people who elevate you. You'll find opportunities that appear only after you refuse to give up. The path rarely looks straight while you're walking it, but later, you will see how everything connected. She wants you to be bold. Not reckless, but bold. Say the idea out loud. Start the project. Launch the business. Write the book. Accept the challenge. Make the call. Send the email. Speak up. Step forward. You don't need to be ready. You need to be willing. Confidence comes after action, not before it. She wants you to understand that big dreams require big resilience. There will be nights you question everything. There will be moments when everything you built feels like it's collapsing. There will be times you want to walk away, times you wonder if it's worth it. In those moments, she wants her voice to reach you. Keep going. Just keep going. The future you're working toward is already waiting. It just needs you to take one more step. She wants you to know you're stronger than you realize. She has seen her children face the impossible, and she knows something you may have forgotten. Human beings expand under pressure. You grow new abilities, new insights, new strength when you're stretched. Don't fear the stretch. It's shaping you. She wants you to understand that humility is a superpower. Confidence will take you far, but humility will take you further. Be willing to listen. Be willing to learn. Be willing to be wrong. Be willing to start again. Those who stop learning stop rising. She wants to tell you that kindness matters. Not weakness, kindness. Help someone. Encourage someone. Share knowledge. Lift others. The world remembers people who make life brighter, not colder. Success built on compassion is success that lasts. She wants you to know that your potential is not fragile. It doesn't vanish because you made a mistake. It doesn't disappear because you slowed down. It doesn't fade because you failed. Potential is loyal. It waits for you. The door is still open. You can still start again. She wants to remind you that imagination is not childish. It's revolutionary. Every breakthrough in history began in someone's mind before it existed in reality. Don't underestimate the ideas that keep you awake at night. Don't dismiss the visions you can't shake. Your imagination is a map. Follow it. She wants you to stop asking if you're good enough. You are. The real question is, are you committed enough? Are you brave enough? Are you consistent enough? Talent is a starting point. Effort builds the path. Perseverance determines how far you go. She wants to tell you that even small steps matter. Not every day needs to be dramatic. Not every achievement needs applause. Sometimes the quiet days, when you make progress that no one sees, are the days that shift everything. You don't need massive leaps. You need continuous forward motion. She wants you to trust your instincts. You have a sense inside you that recognizes truth, opportunity, danger, alignment, timing. Don't override it for the. She wants to leave you with this. If you keep going, if you stay curious, if you work with integrity, if you care, if you try, truly try, then something beautiful will meet you along the way. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually. Life rewards those who show up, so she reaches out to you with the same quiet strength she gave her children and offers a message she knows the world needs to hear. You are capable of more than you think. You are closer than you believe. You are becoming someone extraordinary. Don't stop now. Keep going. Keep building. Keep believing. your story is just beginning. She wants you to understand something deeper now. Something most people never learn until life forces them to. She wants you to know that becoming extraordinary is not about becoming someone else. It's about peeling away everything that isn't you, everything the world has layered on top of you, everything fear has convinced you to hide. Her children did not become who they are by copying others. They became themselves so fully, so unapologetically, so intensely that the world had no choice but to adjust around them. She wants to tell you that you don't need to wait for permission to begin. You don't need approval. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need the right equipment, or the right connections, or the right timing. Start with what you have, where you are, with whatever strength you can gather. She remembers Elon telling her as a young boy that he wanted to build things that didn't exist yet, and she didn't laugh. She didn't shrug it off. She didn't say be realistic. She simply said, try. Why not? Those two words, why not, became the quiet fuel behind everything he later created. She wants you to ask yourself the same question. Why not you? Why not your idea? Why not your breakthrough? Why not your chapter that changes everything? Why not your transformation, your rise, your moment? She wants you to stop shrinking your dreams because someone once told you they were too big. People who fear heights will always warn you about climbing, not because the mountain is impossible, but because they never learn to trust their own legs. Their limitations are not your destiny. She wants you to know that every successful person you admire once stood exactly where you stand, at the beginning, unsure, unproven, trying to convince themselves they weren't foolish for wanting more than what life had handed them. They didn't have certainty. They didn't have guarantees. They simply had a dream and the courage to pursue it when it made no sense. She wants to remind you that progress is often invisible until suddenly it's undeniable. You might be working tirelessly and seeing nothing change. You might feel like your efforts disappear into a void. But underneath the surface, something is happening. Skills are sharpening. Resilience is forming. Ideas are evolving. Foundations are strengthening. You are not stuck. You are incubating. She wants you to realize that your struggle is not a detour, it's part of the architecture of your success. Without the struggle, you wouldn't develop the strength you will soon rely on. Without the setbacks, you wouldn't appreciate the breakthroughs. Without the confusion, you wouldn't gain the clarity waiting for you ahead. She wants you to take a breath and trust that you are exactly where you need to be, even if you don't understand why yet. Life has a strange and beautiful way of preparing you in the dark for the moments you will shine in the light. She wants to warn you of something too. The moment you start rising, the world will test your commitment. It always does. The moment you start believing in yourself, doubt will whisper. The moment you start taking action, obstacles will appear. The moment you start making progress, distractions will multiply. These aren't signs that you should stop. They're signs that you're on the right path. The world only pushes back when it feels you moving. She wants you to remember that you don't have to be fearless. Nobody is. Even the bravest feel fear. What matters is that you move despite it. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is fear walking forward. She wants you to know that there will be days when you feel like everything is collapsing. Moments when a single setback feels like the end. But she has watched her children face near ruin more times than the world knows. Rockets exploding. Businesses failing. Money evaporating. Headlines mocking. People predicting disaster. But each time, they learned something, adjusted, and tried again. She wants you to adopt the same spirit. Fall, learn, rise, repeat. She wants to remind you that kindness to yourself is just as important as ambition. You can't build your future by tearing yourself apart. Speak to yourself with the same compassion you offer others. You are trying. You are learning. You are growing. You deserve patience. She wants you to understand that comparison is a thief. When you compare, you measure your beginning against someone else's middle. Your rough draft against their polished masterpiece. Your hidden battles against their public victories. It's unfair to you. The only person you need to be better than is who you were yesterday. She wants to tell you something many people don't believe until they experience it. Opportunities attract those who move. Not those who wait. Not those who hesitate. Not those who hope without action. The world rewards momentum. Take one step and the next step appears. Start something, and unexpected doors open. Show commitment, and support shows up from places you never imagined. She wants you to understand that being misunderstood is often the price of being ahead of your time. People once laughed at electric cars. They once dismissed reusable rockets. They once mocked every revolutionary idea. The world is uncomfortable with what it has not yet seen. So when people question your dreams, don't shrink. Stand tall. Smile. Keep building. They will understand later. She wants you to embrace your uniqueness. Don't blunt your edges to fit into places you weren't meant to stay. Don't dull your brilliance because it makes others squint. Don't water down your fire to keep others warm. Your uniqueness is not a flaw, it's a compass pointing toward your purpose. She wants you to realize that your destiny is not random. It is shaped by the choices you make every day. The habits you form. The decisions you commit to. The risks you take. The beliefs you hold. The boundaries you enforce. Your future isn't waiting to be discovered, it's waiting to be built. She wants you to remember that you aren't behind. You're simply in preparation. Every chapter of your life has a purpose. The quiet chapters. The painful chapters. The confusing chapters. The exciting chapters. All of them shape you. All of them teach you. All of them prepare you for what's coming. She wants to whisper something into the deepest part of you. You're not alone. Even if your journey feels solitary, you're not alone. Every person who has dreamed big has walked this road. Every person who has changed something in the world has felt the same uncertainty you feel now. You are part of a long lineage of dreamers who refuse to settle. She wants you to stop underestimating the power of persistence. Greatness is not talent. It's endurance. It's the decision to keep going long after the excitement has faded. It's the discipline to do the unglamorous work. It's the choice to rise again after every fall. Most people give up too soon. Not because they lack ability, but because they lack patience. She wants to remind you that the world changes because of people who refuse to stop. People like you. She wants you to see the possibilities ahead of you, not the obstacles. Obstacles are real, yes, but possibilities are more powerful. A single idea can rewrite everything. A single connection can accelerate your journey. A single moment of clarity can shift your entire future. A single act of courage can open a new path. She wants you to believe in timing, even when timing seems cruel. Sometimes what you want isn't denied, it's delayed until you're ready to handle it. Life's rejections can be protection. Life's pauses can be positioning. Life's interruptions can be redirection. She wants you to imagine who you could become if you stopped doubting yourself. What you could build if you trusted your vision. What you could achieve if you stopped apologizing for wanting more. The world makes room for those who know where they're going. She wants you to know that success without meaning is empty. Don't just chase achievements, chase purpose. Chase impact. Chase growth. Chase the inner peace that comes from living a life aligned with who you truly are. She wants you to understand that you are part of something larger than your present circumstances. Your dreams didn't choose you by accident. Your ideas weren't given to you randomly. Your passions are clues. Your desires are messages. Your potential is already pulling you toward your future. She wants you to keep moving forward even when progress feels slow. Even when no one notices. Even when you feel tired. Even when you feel uncertain. Momentum doesn't care about speed. It only cares that you don't stop. She wants to remind you that you don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to take the next step. And then the next. And then the next. The path reveals itself as you walk it. She wants you to trust that everything you've endured is shaping you into someone capable of receiving everything you've prayed for. The strength you're building right now will carry you into chapters you can't imagine yet. She wants to end this part with a whisper, gentle but powerful, the way only a mother can say it. You are on the edge of becoming everything you were meant to be. Don't turn back now. Keep going. Your future is waiting for your courage to arrive. She wants you to hear her now with the kind of clarity that only comes at the end of a long story, the clarity that settles into your bones and stays with you long after the words fade. She wants you to understand that life will not hand you certainty. It will not hand you guarantees. It will not hand you a perfectly marked path. But it will hand you moments, small, quiet, ordinary moments, where you choose who you are becoming. She wants to tell you that those are the moments that decide everything. Not the big breaks, not the applause, not the milestones, but the tiny decisions you make when no one is watching. The decision to try again after a failure. The decision to hold on to your vision when others doubt it. The decision to wake up with hope even when yesterday was heavy. Those decisions shape your character. And character is what shapes your destiny. She wants you to know that the world often looks at success from the outside. It sees the headlines, the achievements, the accomplishments, the breakthroughs. But she has seen it from the inside. She has seen the sacrifice, the doubt, the exhaustion, the long nights, the heartbreaks, the resilience. She knows that the price of greatness is not glamour, it is grit. She wants you to understand that every dream comes with resistance. If your dream feels heavy, it's not a sign to stop, it's a sign that your dream is worth carrying. Heavy things are usually valuable things. She wants you to imagine the person you're becoming through all this. Not the person you pretend to be, not the person others expect you to be, but the version of you being forged right now in the fire of your challenges. The you who is learning discipline, learning patience, learning courage, learning self-trust. That version of you is your future. And she wants you to walk toward it with confidence. She wants you to remember that you'll never fully know who's watching your journey. You may not realize who you inspire, who you encourage, who find strength in your persistence. Sometimes your courage becomes someone else's permission to try. Without knowing it, your rise might light the path for many. She wants to give you the kind of reassurance that she once gave her own children. It's okay to start small. It's okay to be unsure. It's okay to learn as you go. Everything extraordinary begins in the ordinary. Don't be embarrassed by your beginning. Every empire starts with a single brick. Every innovation starts as a curious thought. Every success starts as a first step. She wants you to accept that transformation can be uncomfortable. Growth requires you to stretch beyond what you've known. You will shed old habits, old beliefs, old fears. You will outgrow people who no longer align with your path. You will evolve in ways that surprise even you. Let it happen. Expansion requires letting go. She wants you to understand that disappointment doesn't mean your story is over. Many of the things you thought you wanted were stepping stones to something better. There will be dreams you outgrow, goals you replace, plans that change direction. That's not failure, that's evolution. Life doesn't take from you without giving something back. Pay attention to what it's giving. She wants you to keep your heart open. Not blindly, not recklessly, but bravely. Open enough to love your journey. Open enough to believe in possibilities. Open enough to forgive yourself. Open enough to try again. She wants you to stay curious, because curiosity is fuel. It's what keeps you learning, exploring, innovating. Her children didn't change industries by being satisfied with how things were. They changed things by asking questions others didn't think to ask. Curiosity is the spark that turns normal minds into groundbreaking ones. She wants to remind you that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is rest. Not quit, rest. She has seen burnout, collapse, pushing too hard, giving too much. She knows that a mind without rest becomes a battlefield. A body without rest becomes an anchor. Rest is not surrender. Rest is repair. Rest gives you the strength to rise again. She wants to leave you with hope, not the fragile kind that depends on everything going right, but the resilient kind that survives storms. The kind of hope that says, even if today is hard, tomorrow can be better. The kind of hope that refuses to let fear dictate your destiny. She wants you to trust that you're capable of navigating whatever comes next. You've already survived things you once thought you couldn't. You've overcome moments that felt impossible at the time. You've rebuilt yourself more than once. You're stronger than your doubts. You're wiser than your mistakes. You're more powerful than your fears. She wants to remind you that your dreams chose you for a reason. They matched your abilities, your experiences, your personality, your heart. They are not accidents. You were built for them. She wants you to promise yourself something today, not a promise to succeed immediately, not a promise to impress others, but a promise to keep showing up. A promise to give your future a chance. A promise to treat your dream with respect. A promise to honor the potential inside you. She wants to tell you one last thing, the thing she believes with all her heart: your story is far from over. You are nowhere near finished. There are chapters ahead of you filled with breakthroughs you can't imagine yet. Relationships that will shift your world, victories that will feel almost unreal. There are moments coming that will make you grateful you never gave up. She wants you to carry this message with you long after today. You are capable, you are worthy, you are becoming. No matter how slow it feels, you are moving forward. No matter how heavy it gets, you are growing stronger. No matter how uncertain things seem, you are being prepared. You are on your way to something remarkable. Keep going. Keep believing. Keep becoming. Your future is not just possible, it's waiting for you with open arms. And when you finally reach it, you will look back at this moment and realize, this was the turning point. This was where everything began to change, and she hopes, with the gentle certainty only a mother can offer, that you never forget this truth: you were always meant for more, and you are already rising.